Hi everyone, I'm just going to wait 5 minutes for everyone to come on, make sure they've all got the link, and then we'll start. Can you hear me now, Trace?
Got it. That's it. You're on.
What, on the computer or the phone?
Guys. Talk now, Joe. Hold on a sec, guys. We're just trying to sort out a sound issue. Joe's end.
Better?
You there, Joe?
Yeah?
Yeah, that's it. I've got you.
All right, you're going to pin this video, yeah?
Yeah.
I'll give it a couple of minutes. How many have we... It's all right, I can see.
Yeah.
Decision that made us walk away from six figures. So I walked away from six figures in my old company, and I'll take you to a background before that. And Tracy's walked away from a six-figure income in the corporate world. So we've got completely different backgrounds, and we're going to share our stories with you and make you see the kind of decisions that we made that took us to where we are today. So before network marketing, I became a mum at 16 years old. And for many people, a lot of people would think, you know, my life was pretty much doomed. There was nothing much out there for me. It's what I was always told. It's what I always thought. But my family grew up around education. So I went back to college, university, and I went into a full-time job. And I excelled at it, but I wasn't praised for what I did. And I ended up working in an office on my own, and that's not me. Became very, very depressed, very alone. And the worst thing was that I missed so much of my son's upbringing. And I remember sitting in that office and I just thought, there's got to be more than this. You know, I asked to reduce my hours on the same pay, promising that I'd do the work, refused. I looked for jobs, couldn't find anything. And then network marketing found me. And I was just looking through Facebook one day and I saw an ad, do you want to work from home? And you know how it is, you don't know that any of this kind of stuff is real. You don't believe it's too good to be true. But I thought, you know what? Anything is better than the situation that I'm in right now. So I'm going to look. And I did look, and I saw that if I worked really hard for 3 to 5 years, then I could put myself in a really, really good position. And I done that. I done that with my first network marketing company. I saw to one of the highest positions there is in the company. And, you know, looking back, I think, wow, you know, I was a single mum on tax credits. And a lot of people think that there's no way out of that, but there is. To someone who was earning multiple six figures, qualifying for incredible trips all around the world and everything that marketing plan had to give me. And you know, I had a really, really good 3.5 years, but for me, I just became really unhappy in that company. Maybe it was just a little bit too saturated, didn't like some of the people. You know, I felt that it was really saturated in the UK market, and I just didn't agree with some of the things that were going on to kind of have a one-up on other people within the market. And I made that decision to leave that company. But obviously it's got, you know, to make a decision to leave a company like that, it's got to be something good out there. And that's why they call our company Ariix the industry disruptor, because it's a company that's come along and it's just shocked everyone in network marketing that it has so much to offer. And now that I've spent time around the owners, I can see why they've done it. They're giving so much up front and not taking as much themselves from the company so that they can help us grow, and they're going to grow with us. So they're going to get their money as we grow as a company. And, you know, to be part of this company has just been incredible. So I crossed over around 7 months ago now. So to talk you through some of the things that made me make that big decision, number one was something they had in place called the Bill of Rights. Now, no one was probably on this call has ever heard of the Bill of Rights. I know that I hadn't before I even saw it. But basically, it's a solicitor written statement that says that our company cannot change the compensation plan to devastate our businesses. And the reason for that is if you look around network marketing, there are so many companies with loopholes, with changes happening all the time. And it was happening a lot in my old company. Things kept changing, and there's only so many times that you can go back to your team and say, it's been done for the best, you know, it's going to benefit us, it's going to be the best decision. It's not. It devastated our businesses, and I wasn't willing to work alongside that. So when I was shown something that said we can't change anything that's going to devastate that for you, I thought, wow, you know, for a company to be that secure, to know that, you know, they can give this business to someone and it is their business, that's what really got me involved in it. Because as I said, I was sick of things changing, and with this company there are changes, but they're only ever for the better, and the decisions are made by the people on the market. So when I say things change, things get better. You know, I've seen our compensation plan double in the last 6 months, and to see that is just absolutely incredible, to know that people are that generous, that they want to make sure that their reps are getting as much money up front from the start as humanly possible. They're the number one compensation plan in the world, and I know that every single company is going to say that. I'm well aware of that. But if you do want to work out why they're the number one compensation plan in the world, speak to the person who got you onto this call, because there's a call at 9 o'clock and it will tell you from our CEO why. He's a statistician. He knows percentages through his head, and he knows every single percentage on our market. So when I saw that they're number one and they would always stay number one, and if anyone ever tries to take them over, they would up the game again, I knew that I was in the right company. Because when you're in network marketing, you want to be able to say to people, I'm in the number one company. You want to know that when you're helping a team and when you're speaking to prospects, that you're giving the number one opportunity out there. I couldn't work with people and say that my old company was the best out there when I knew that this company was here, because I knew that it wasn't. So I think I made a pretty good decision moving over. So the second reason that really struck a chord with me was their branding strategy as well. If you're on this call, then you've probably seen network marketing around. You know, it's been around for a while. You might have seen Juice Plus, Forever Living, Avon. Oh God, what are they all? You know, Unique. There's loads of them. And what you'll find is that name just gets saturated. You've got Unique, you know it's makeup. You've got Forever Living, you know it's pots of aloe vera. You've got all these companies and they are against those products. Whereas with our branding strategy, we work under an umbrella of Ariix, but we have 6 completely separate brands. So, you know, our brands are completely separated, completely separate websites, brochures, names, everything is kept separate, so that what doesn't happen is we don't saturate. So think of it this way. If we were to go into a shopping centre and we had, say, a company called Forever Living, they would have one shop and they would have a diverse range of products in that shop. If you were to go into a shopping centre and Ariix had a shop, we would have 6 completely separate, and they would have 6 completely separate names as well. So that means that if one of those gets saturated and one of them goes down, we still have 5 to keep our business stable while they work on rebranding the brand that's saturated. So we know that we're not going to be 20 years down the line, 30 years down the line, even 5 years down the line, and everyone's saying, I'm sick of hearing about Ariix products, because they are never marketed as Ariix products. So the company itself will never saturate, which for me, music to my absolute ears, because all I kept hearing from my old company is, oh, I've heard of that, oh, my friend's friend does that, my friend does that. Because we have different people in the team who've got different interests within our brands, you know, everyone's doing something different. No one's sticking to the same product. No one's sticking to the same brand. So it's nice to have that diverse range across the teams, all working completely separately. Now, the third thing for me that massively stood out for me is the compensation plan and what it had to offer. Now, Tracy is going to go through it all with you. I'm not going to go through the logistics with you, but I'll talk about why and what that's done for me. So when I looked at this company, I never really, I'm not going to lie, it took me 6 weeks to understand this compensation plan. You'll probably listen Trace, and wonder what the hell she's on about in about 5 minutes. It took me 6 weeks, but when I got it, I got it. And I could see that in every single other company in network marketing, you will recruit people into your business. It's natural. That's what network marketing is. But those people, as you help them become successful, you might find that depending on what company you could be in, they would break away, that your volume might dip, that you might get paid less, the more that you help someone become successful. Whereas with our company, the more we help someone become successful, like our Trace, the more we get paid, which for me is brilliant. And I'll tell you what it does for me. So I came into network marketing for one thing and one thing only. I didn't come in to be who I am today. It's just naturally happened. But for me, it's always been about time. And to begin with, it was time with my son, Cameron, to get back all the years that I lost. But now it's about the baby that network marketing has allowed me to have and the time that I'm allowed to spend with my son. Because now I can be a mum, I can switch off for hours on end, and I know that if I develop leaders and if I duplicate down and help those leaders to bring in more leaders, that I'm going to be paid more, not having to worry about someone becoming successful within my business and then, you know, my business turning on the side and me having to be on heels again and recruit more people and bring in more business. It's not like that. It's about duplication. It's about helping people. It's about what network marketing should be about, not what it is about in different companies. So I've done enough talking. I'm going to pass you over to the lovely Tracy, who's going to tell you how we make this money, how we've got this incredible compensation plan, how she's the #2 woman in Europe, alongside me as #1. She'll catch up with me soon. But I'm going to leave you in her safe hands. So spotlight your video, Trace, and good luck.
Brilliant. Okay, can you hear me, guys, and see me?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so hello everybody. Like Joe said, my name's Tracy. I've been with Ariix for about 23 weeks now, and I'll just tell you a little bit about me before I talk about the marketing plan. So my background is very different to Joe's. I come from the corporate world. I've worked in large telecoms organisations for around 20 years now, EE, Vodafone, T-Mobile, and most recently in British Telecom. And I've held some pretty senior roles, managing and coaching sales teams all over the country, and that's been great. And I've had some really good years and earned some really great money, but what it did mean was that I'd got 0 time with my family. I'm a mum of twin girls, Poppy and Tilly, who are now 9, and when they were about 4, I started to feel pretty guilty that they were at home most of the time with my husband. Sadly, I was never the best student at school, and I'd fallen into sales, and I knew that if I wanted to change my career, I had one of 2 choices. I could either take a massive dip in salary and go and get a job, a run-of-the-mill job, and probably quarter my salary, or I would have to go back and retrain for something. And the reality was, with the income that we were earning, I simply couldn't afford to do that. So I was introduced to network marketing probably about 3.5 years ago, like I say, and for me, it ticked lots of boxes, as in I could earn a great income by learning some skills as I was learning, helping some other people do the same. And it meant that I didn't have to worry about walking away straight away from my day job. So I got started with a different business. I had 3 great years there. I learned some great skills and I made some great friends along the way. But for me, the reason that I moved on was nothing other than the fact that it didn't ever deliver what I expected it to deliver. I did everything I was told to do and more, in my opinion. You know, I did qualify for most of the incentives. But I just felt quite lonely. I felt like I wasn't the leader that I wanted to be. I felt like it was getting harder and harder to help my team. So I decided that I was going to look elsewhere. And I made that decision after actually going on one of their company incentives, where I just came away feeling a little bit disillusioned. And I approached Joanna. And I've got to say, it's the best thing that I've ever done. Like I say, in my old business, I would say I was pretty average. I didn't have the biggest business in the world, and it certainly didn't pay the biggest income by some way. But what I've found here is that the business has allowed me to do exactly what I did in my first business. You know, I committed to the cause straight away. I ran pretty hard. I contacted everybody I knew. I spoke to my friends and family about the products, which are amazing. but the business started to pay me quite quickly. So I'm just going to I'm not going to go into too much detail with regards to how we earn, because it is quite complicated. And like Joanna said, it took me a number of weeks to get my head around it. But what I did was I committed to do what I was told to do. And over the last 22, 23 weeks, I've earned $20,000, which, you know, it's still not replacing my day income yet, but it's growing every week. And for the first time in 3.5 years, I can see that without a doubt, I'm ready to walk away from that day income. So just to make it very clear, so most network marketing businesses pay in a number of ways. What Ariix do is they pay on what's called a multi-line compensation plan. So they're the only people in the industry that play on what's called a multi-line. And that basically means that you can build your business as wide as you like, and you can go as deep as you like. So for me, that really stood out as something that was okay, I'm going to earn more money. In my old business, I earned off the volume from my team as long as I was active. But for me to be seen as active, I needed to retail around £1,000 a month. Now, the difference with this business is I just have to do 100 points, and that's around £85 a month in personal retail for me to help my team. So that stood out to me one or two ways. One, I knew I was going to earn more money, and two, I knew that I would be able to help people who were maybe new into the industry or felt unsuccessful from their past experiences wherever they were, and actually spend my time helping those people, because I wasn't chasing my tail trying to do all of that retail. So that was the first thing. The second thing is the company are ridiculously generous. So like Joanna said, we do get paid really well. It's the most generous compensation plan I've ever seen in both my day and network marketing. So we get paid, or we get a 30% discount off all of the products at point of sale, so 30% straight away. And then what we do is we get paid a personal bonus on anything that we do buy for ourselves or that we sell on to our customers. That's just about to get even more generous in the next month or so, but I can't go too much into detail now. But just to give you an idea, that bonus from day one is 15%. So in my old business, again, there was a lot of having to run really hard to move up the marketing plan to enable yourself to get up those levels. So in Ariix, we don't penalise anybody. It doesn't matter how successful you are. We all get the same 30% off the products and 15% bonus. So that's the first thing. But it also means that I can now spend all of my time helping my team. The big one, though, is that we have multiple bonuses that we get paid on. So I'm not going to go into all of them. I'm just going to talk to you now about two of the bonuses that we get paid on, because they are life-changing. So one of the bonuses is called matching bonus, and that basically is an additional bonus to anything you do yourself, and it's an additional bonus to your volume, your 15% volume that you earn off your active team. It's a bonus where you get paid on 7 levels deep. So I'm frontline to Joanna. Joanna sponsored me, so that makes me her frontline. And then somebody that I've sponsored is Joanna's second generation. Underneath them would be third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and so on. So most businesses pay between 3 and 4 levels deep on their team volume. What this company does, it pays you on all of your volume, but then it pays you an additional bonus, which is 7 layers deep. Now, just let me put that into context to you. Level 1, so somebody that I've introduced personally, so my sister, into this business. So all of her volume I get paid on, but then I get paid 15% because she's my front line. So anybody that she introduces then into the business, I get paid 10% off everything that they do. And then levels 3 all the way down to 7, I get paid 5% off everything that they do as an additional bonus. But then if I replace somebody, because our business is about helping people, in my old business I used to sponsor wide, and if I sponsored, they were frontline to me. I couldn't actually physically help somebody without it being myself being penalised. In this business, I can actually sponsor people and place them underneath people. So let's say I've got my sister, and then there's 7 people under my sister. If I then place somebody in that 8th position, that person is still frontline to me. So once again, I then go back to being 15%, 10%, 5%, 5%, 5%. So I hope that makes sense, but it basically means that we get paid infinity deep. So it's always, and the beauty of that is it's in your interest to help people who are active build their team and to help them actually start to grow their team. So that was something that stood out massively to me. And then the second big bonus that really stood out to me was something called savings bonus. So again, all network marketing companies offer incentives, and this company is no different. We offer incentives. Joanna went on a cruise just before I started, or just as I started, to Norway, which was a European cruise. And then we've both qualified to go on the next incentive, which is 9 days around the Caribbean, on a Caribbean cruise, 5-star all inclusive. So that's great, because that means that we've qualified for the big incentive. But on top of that, they do this amazing bonus called savings bonus. And that savings bonus is brilliant, because it was something that I never quite achieved in my old company. The big check where you go and get paid lots of money on stage and all of that kind of stuff. So to make it really fair, first of all, what we don't do is, again, we don't penalise people that they have to be at a certain level. As long as you are earning a certain amount, the company will pay money into your savings bond. So let's just make that really clear. So once you are earning weekly a base commission of over $250, so about £170 a week, the company will take 15% of that commission and pay it into a savings pot for you. And on the day that it reaches $10,000, they will pay it out to you. So I'm 22, 23 weeks in. I've already qualified. I'm already, like Joanna said, number 2 ranking female in Europe. I've qualified for the 2 tickets for the Caribbean cruise. And I've already got $4,300, I think, in my savings account. And just to put that into context, Joanna started this business about 6 weeks, I think, before me, and has already been paid her first $10,000 and has still got those 2 cruises to look forward to. So that bonus for me was life-changing. I just knew that that was something that I probably wasn't ever going to get anywhere else. And if you're anything like me and not the best saver, you earn good money, but you spend a lot of money, or you don't earn great money and you need to pay off some debt, it's a great way of somebody helping you be able to do that. And the last thing I just want to touch on really is the fact about timing and placement. So like I said, in my old business, I had a great time. I didn't have an issue with the company and I didn't have an issue with the products. I had a good time, and I thank that business for the fact that they taught me the basics to get started again this time. But I do think that in any business, a lot of success is down to timing. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to be the first person in, like some people think with network marketing, because there are lots of people in this business who have only been in for a very short time, but who are earning ridiculous amounts of money, Joanna being one of them. But timing is really important with regards to being able to build momentum very quickly. So most businesses, well, all businesses go through a cycle, a time cycle. And what happens is they spend their first 12 months to 24 months going through the development process. And that's where things are pretty tough, for the forefathers, the people who get started in the very beginning. It can be tough. Systems and processes aren't necessarily in place, and they're trying to find their way. And then what happens is they start to develop all of those systems and processes, all of their products go into development, and then they hit this momentum phase. And that momentum phase in network marketing normally lasts for between 5 and 7 years. And what happens then is it reaches development, and ultimately then it goes into saturation. So timing with Ariix has never been better. We literally have gone through that first phase. So obviously the business has been around for 5 years across the rest of the world, but it's only been in the UK for 12 months. Now, the good thing for you guys listening onto that call is it means that all of the pain has happened with regards to developing the products and developing the systems and the compensation plan, and we have now hit momentum. In the UK, we're literally just getting started. There are just over 1,000 reps in the whole of the UK. So timing is everything. And just while you're thinking on timing, just think about this carefully, because we are hitting momentum. And although we had a great end to the 2016, 2017 is a really exciting place to get started, because the leaders now are looking for people that they want to work with and help build their businesses. And because of the way that we work, where we place people in the business. The people who get started straight away are going to be higher into that tree, if that makes sense. Now, that doesn't mean that we're expecting everybody to join the call from today's call. Of course we don't. You know, some people are going to sit in it and say, you know, it's not for me. We think that it's a fabulous opportunity, and that the products and the market and the, you know, the leadership and the compensation is the right time for anybody to get involved. But I would say that, you know, if you are sitting on the fence a little bit and you've got any questions that you still need answering following on from tonight's call, then please get them answered, because those people who are on the call tonight who decide to get started tonight are going to be placed in the business straight away. And those people who decide to take a little bit more time and get started tomorrow, or the day after tomorrow, or next week, or next year, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. There's still plenty of room for us to grow. It just means that you're going to come in underneath some of those people. So hopefully you've listened and had enough information tonight to get those questions that were burning answered. Like I said, please do get back in touch with the person who invited you onto this call. If you do need any further information from Joanna or myself, then please get in touch with us. We're more than happy to answer any further questions. And hopefully we'll look forward to seeing some of you in the team soon. Have a good evening. Good night.